I'm Burt Bankson, and I'm really sorry, guys. I'm a lead architect at Ashley Furniture, and I got some notes from corporate this morning. I'm so sorry, guys. They want me to tell you I should not refer to myself as Hacker Man or the world's tallest Svelte dev. Okay. They said, also, your presentation can't be quote-unquote silly. I also got some other notes from X, formerly known as Twitter. Do not read the formerly known as Twitter part. Absolutely no footage of StealthKit in production. All us Svelte haters know that you can't put StealthKit in production. So I really apologize, guys. I didn't know what to do. So I found this really cool website, Vibe Presentations. I know we know Vibe coding. Like, I think this is pretty cool. I think this could work out. So I'm just gonna. Let's go! Let's go! We're not doing that! We put StealthKit in production! I ripped off my microphone, sorry! Come on, let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Woo! The Hacker Man has come home to Svelte Summit. I am very pleased to be here today to show you my very long title of a talk. TLDR, how Svelte helped me accomplish the impossible. Today, I'm going to weave you a tale of the last 2.5 years of my life. It's really hard to put that into 20 minutes. Sorry, I'm out of breath. All right. But I'm hoping out of this, I can inspire some of you guys to do what I did, because it's not easy. And I'm kind of glad I'm starting on the second day today, because you're going to see a lot of stuff you saw from the first day. And kind of the goal of this presentation is to show you the why. Why are we here today? Why are we talking about web components? Why are we talking about privacy? Why are we talking about Vite? So, let me bring you back to a time. This is kind of my last time on Dragon Ball Z part of the talk. So, I'm a dev at Ashley Furniture. It's a very large furniture retailer in the United States. I've come to learn, being in Europe, that no one knows what that is. So I had this last night. This was our stats from last Saturday. So we have about 600,000 users, like on a Saturday, 300,000 users on like a regular day. So I did a talk about our migration to StealthKit for my first virtual summit. That was like about 3 years ago. And then I did an in-person talk about the worst Svelte code I have ever written. Obviously, it wasn't going well. But I will tell you guys here today, failure is a part of life. It is a big part of life, and I think it's a big part of being a good dev. But I'm sorry, when I was talking at Svelte Summit, telling everyone you should use Svelte, StealthKit is great, and our website looked like this, didn't feel good. I obviously felt like a massive fraud. But you know what? I like failure. I like to take on these challenges. And at Ashley Furniture, I saw a massive challenge, but I saw a massive opportunity because we had a lot of really good trained Svelte devs, and I had time and patience. So let's do it for real this time. So, last setup for this. I call this story StealthKit Migration, The Revenge by Bert Hackerman Bankson. So we started on Ashley Furniture, and it was a nightmare. It was loaded with all kinds of stuff. It took 8 seconds just to load the page, which was wild. We were constantly under legal battles for ADA issues. And to me, the worst of all, as a dev, it was almost impossible to work on. And that's because of this little framework I call Salesforce Psych. Now, this is my little hater talk right here. I freaking hate this framework. It's awful. I also just learned, too, that Europeans don't do Halloween, so they don't even get this meme. But they give out candy, and yeah. You guys will get it. But I call it Salesforce Psych an unholy JavaScript server framework. It is awful. Anything, it uses like a proprietary JavaScript dialect that compiles off of Java called Rhino.js. Super old school, but basically all your JavaScript knowledge doesn't apply at all. And the great part about it is you can't even run it on your local machine. You have to upload your code to the cloud, and you have to pay for the privilege to do so. It's awful. It is trash. And it's crazy how, like, today we take it for granted that you can just run your code on your local machine. So, many had tried at Ashley Furniture. Many had failed. I had been part of a failed StealthKit migration. We were just trying to migrate off anything. But I started a team we called the Ginyu Force so that we'd have to explain to the business what Dragon Ball Z was. So, first of all, I'm going to start kind of the story with one of my favorite quotes here. Fixing bars is easy. Fixing people is tough. Now, I know a lot of people in Europe don't watch trash reality TV like I do all the time. But this is from a show called Bar Rescue, where this big guy over here, John Taffer, fixes bars. And you know, you're just like watching, like binge watching this stuff, and all of a sudden he just says something like that. You're like, whoa, that's my life. And he goes and fixes bars, and you think stuff that would be really just second nature to running a bar, like serve people drinks, be nice to people, would be second nature to people. But a lot of people get this wrong. And I see a lot of that with tech. People are naturally resistant to change. People don't like change. And I'm going to kind of put this on its head on how I look at it. If we were changing all the time, it wouldn't be good. You know, things would constantly be changing, things would break all the time. Change can be bad, but change is also normally good if you do it the right way. But I will say in one of these projects, changing people is the hardest part. It is one of the hardest things you can do. It makes doing migrations like this not just hard as a developer, but hard as a human being. So for this talk, I'm kind of introducing what I call, it's a level 16 ancient black magic dragon. We call the business. So I didn't want to talk any crap about people in this, in this talk. Because when you're doing this migration, you're naturally going to clash with people. And I have a mentality when I'm doing one of these migrations that some may say is kind of naive, but I really think it's given me a lot of success. It's really just helped me get through a lot of these projects. I think everyone I work with genuinely just wants the best for the website. And that's just so big, having that mentality, because it helps you realize that all these problems, it's not people against you. It's not people trying to ruin your day. It's just us having communication problems, us not coming together as a team, us not understanding things, having misconceptions, falling into habits. And know what's funny? When you have this mentality, you'll start to realize that you might be that person. So I just want to start that out by saying, to me, this dragon, the business, we like to call it, is just that. It's that dehumanization of the person behind it who just wants the best for the website. So let's begin. very surprising that they had AI wizards and Ashley Furniture Store causing havoc all on a ChatGPT. I was very impressed by that. So I bring you to our Act 1. Now, has anyone here played Baldur's Gate 3? Great game. I call this part of the story our Goblin Camp. So basically, this is what we were starting out with. We were coming into this really crappy Site Genesis website, and I know you might say it's lazy too, that I'm just reading off Wikipedia. I know it's really lazy. But we came in, and immediately the business was like, we need massive, massive change. And it was really funny because we had hundreds and thousands of lines of JavaScript and CSS garbage. And so I had one of my junior devs who came to me, and he's like, hey, how do you code a button? And I was like, what does that mean? And I was like, is this really what I had? And I went up to him, and he was trying to code a button, and every button would just CSS out. It looked so weird. It was all these different kind of changes, and I was like, this isn't good. So I made the kind of executive decision to just change every button. And I call this part of the story kind of the stopping the bleeding part, right? People are producing bad code, obviously. That's how we're coming into it. And we need to stop that. We need to put in systems for the team to work together so that we could produce good code. And I think one of the biggest kind of mistakes people make on migration like this is that they don't iterate. They're like, well, we'll let everyone do it how they were doing it before, keep going, and we'll do it ourselves the right way, and we'll get to the right way eventually. I always say you can do the right way now, today, and you always should. So I'm going to show you a few items we got on this quest. So I'm on Thoughtbot right now, big World of Warcraft. I know we already talked about Vite, but I want to kind of talk about Vite from the implementer perspective. Vite is a freaking awesome tool. Even in I want to say, Vite's actually gotten me jobs. So it's no Vite. It is a great, great tool. And it's a great tool because even in the worst situations, it works amazingly. So I came into this massive JavaScript trash project that had, it was a 200-line Webpack config that was doing weird bundling kind of merges. It was awful. And I just dropped in Vite, and it worked. And the really cool part about this item that really boosts you in a Svelte project is you get that working, and then you just put in Svelte plugin Vite. Done. And you are coding Svelte almost immediately. Woo! And I really want to talk about, in this talk, about slowly building up to your next thing, right? And Vite is a freaking amazing tool for doing that. But the next one you guys are not going to like. So this is a level 1 item that you can just pick up at any time. A lot of higher level players do not like it, and they will really talk bad about you for doing so. But really what I want to highlight with web components was I was coming into a site where we couldn't even code a button. That's obviously pretty bad. And we were trying anything of how can we just code normally, like normal people in the normal world, and put it on the site and get any kind of value from the business to show them that Svelte is working. And web components was a huge, huge part of that. And so you can see in the screenshots, we were able to deploy a footer, a new footer, totally written in Svelte, that was web components, and it just worked. And that was really massive for this project because I think one of the problems, again, that people have is with projects like this is they're like, all right, business, wait 2 years, and you'll see why Svelte's great. We were able to show them immediately with web components why Svelte was great. And we also did a search bar too. And really what I want to highlight too was the super awesome part about this is once we were done, we had this out, once we were migrating to other stuff, these components were inherently reusable, even outside of web components. And that is one of the things I think with Svelte that makes it so awesome for projects like this is its versatility. is the fact it's not coming in saying, you have to do it this way, the right way, or we're not gonna let you do anything. I don't know about you guys, but every time in my kind of corporate career, I've never been able to really do it the right way until I did it the wrong way for a while and then got to the right way. So, people got really mad at me for the buttons, but I want to highlight there's a lot of people who also supported me. There's a lot of people who are like, yeah, us dev, like the devs not being able to code buttons is really bad. And there was really supportive people, and I kind of grew out of this, and it was really great that we got some buffs, too, through this level up. So, like I said, we were able to use Svelte in production. We had people coding Svelte, which was awesome. We're moving in the right direction. We're not moving away from it. On top of it, I got to sell to the business. The website's going from 8-second load time to 2 seconds, like almost immediately. And I think that's just such a big part, because like I said, right, these are real people out there. It's not just coders at this company. We need everyone to love Svelte. And that was just such an easy thing for the business to love what we did. Is yes, they were hesitant at first. Yes, I didn't communicate really well why we were switching all the buttons, why we were doing Vite, why we were putting in these web components. But once they saw the results of the website going slow to fast, it really helped build us up. And so, on top of it too, like I said, as a team, we put in ESLint, we put Prettier, we put all these tools to help us keep going in the right direction. And I want to do a quick shout out. Dominic did a talk about this. I want to do a shout out to Vitest. So like I said, we can get biased on ourselves and think we're doing things the right way, but we also need to gain trust of people. And I really love Vitest. Unit tests are an easy way to just get trust with other people, like almost for free. I know we don't like doing them, but especially in a project like this, you need to be the change you want to see in the world. And I think unit tests are the easiest no-think way of doing that, and it helps build trust for continuing with these. So I did learn some lessons here about this because people were really mad. One of the things was, I call it up here, fighting something real. So one of our biggest mistakes is we didn't take analytics or any sort of like baseline for the website besides the load speed. We just worked on that, and yes, it was better, but the business and other people kind of looked at it, and they're like, well, the old website was way better. Oh, this old footer was way better. And we didn't really have any way of being like, well, no, it wasn't, you know? So it's really like, I would highly recommend if you're doing migration, is to focus on fighting something real. Don't let people come in and be like, well, it was way better. Focus on real stats, real things, and that's why I wanted to shout out having analytics and real-time user monitoring. Back to the privacy talk. You can tell I edited this slide last night. We use Google Analytics, but again, I really love the privacy talk. Analytics is very useful, but we need to make sure we're using it the right way. But I really focused our team on actually using the right analytics, looking at analytics, what do our users want? What do they want to go for? Not just opinions of who's there that day, because we like to put our opinion out, but then there's 500 other people at the company who want their opinion out. Analytics and real-time user monitoring help focus us on a common goal. So this is where I bring you to the montage of this. So we started coding Svelte, we had Svelte out there. Now is this kind of that long pattern of building things up, of slowly building up those components. And I wrote so much Svelte during this time. I wrote a design system, I wrote auth helper package for our Salesforce setup. I actually want to, are my two coworkers here, Sunny and AK? Stand up. I want you guys to stand up. AK, stand up. So I want to say a big part of these migrations is not only building code, it's building people, building leaders, building people up. And because I can just tell you, you're not doing this stuff alone. And really, I want to shout AK and Sunny. Sunny was an amazing leader that helped other devs learn Svelte, helped advocate for Svelte, helped them get on board with us so that we could have even more allies. And AK was awesome because we had an awful content team, and she did a really good job leading that content team, leveling up, getting them ready for this huge Svelte production migration we were doing. So we were coding Svelte on the main site, but I wanted to go a little bit more, a little bit bigger, and it's because we weren't doing StealthKit yet. We didn't have the server yet. We didn't have it all through. So I was looking for any sort of opportunity to make a StealthKit MVP. And this is where I kind of unleash the veil here, because I have an extremely unprofessional presentation and show you guys I actually do code, kind of professional code. We got this job from the business to make a mattress quiz. Just a simple form where you fill it out, sends you a mattress, tells you how good it was for you, hit buy. And I saw that as an amazing opportunity to split out the website for the CDN and put something out in StealthKit. So this is it. This is our MVP. You can go Ashley Furniture a day. It's /mattress quiz /size, and that is a full StealthKit app. And yes, it's simple. Yes, it's really rudimentary. I think people do not like MVPs. I love MVPs. I love MVPs. The whole point of this project was to build something, deliver something, but also build up ourselves, build up our StealthKit application so that we can slowly start moving in the right direction. So I'll kind of demo a little bit what we got here. Just a simple quiz, simple components, just reusing the stuff we built up. You can see we have the search bar that I was talking about. We had the footer I was talking about. Just reusing what we already had and slowly moving towards where we were going. And I really want to shout out one community member for this. One of our hardest parts on this project was, where are we going to put this stuff? Where we didn't really know Node yet. We were coming from Salesforce, which was like an infrastructure as a service, and the business didn't really understand infrastructure as a service. They didn't even know they were buying it. And so one of the biggest challenges is how are we going to host this thing? How are we going to get out? And this is where I shout out a really big thing in StealthKit that I freaking love that really helps you out with projects like this is the adapters. Adapters are an amazing thing for migrations like this. We didn't understand how to do Node yet. That was a long way off. And the community member I want to shout out is Jeff Rich. He's not here today. I know he just had a kid. Shouts out to him. He wrote the Azure Static Web App Adapter, which was awesome, that allowed us to make a StealthKit app, put it out the door very simply, just a simple CLI, and get out in production, generate value so that we could get to that next step. It's a journey, not a race. Just getting that next step was so huge. I just want to shout him again because I put in so many annoying PRs to that repo that just did not make sense, and he dealt with me in an entire way. So we got that out the door, and it was great, but we still had the next step, the next thing, right? You can't put that out yet. In production, that is not the full site. So we built even more. And quickly on this slide, I don't know why they didn't use a RuneScape logo for Svelte Runes. I submitted it, Rich. Why didn't you take it? So basically, I'm just looking for that next MVP, how we can get closer to our goal, that e-commerce site, that giant vision in the sky I was going for. And so we got this project. It's called the Kiosk. So Ashley Furniture, for the people not in the know, has a bunch of home stores across the country. And in it, they have these little kiosks with a desktop on it, and they had not been working for the 2 years I was there. But they still had them out, turned on. It had a 404 on it. It was super embarrassing. And so I went up to one of our PMs, and I just you can't even read this, sorry, because it's RuneScape, it's low resolution, I'm sorry. I want to shout out 2 allies I had here in the business, not even coders. It was my friend Ryan and Kyle. They were 2 PMs who really started to see the fight we were going for, see what we were going for, see our vision. And I went up to Kyle, and I was like, can we do the kiosk? And I'm doing it because I want to replace the production site. I want to get the production site out there. And him and Ryan really did a good job of helping us get that support from the business to go that extra step. And one of our main issues here with this project, the thing we were trying to solve was the Node server. The Kubernetes infra, it was a huge challenge. I tried to get us to switch to Vercel, infrastructure as a service, but that's really hard. And like I said, we were already using infrastructure as a service, but we were paying a ton for it. So one of the things with these kind of projects is you want to focus, pick your battles, and I was trying so hard to avoid the architecture, doing my own Kubernetes, deploying it to Azure, but somehow got there. It took another year of that. I want to shout out 2 other coworkers, Cindy and Jerome. They were great. They helped me out a ton, and with the kiosk, we got the full kind of base website in StealthKit. So, clap. You can clap. And so if you live in America, you can go to any Ashley Furniture home store and you will see a StealthKit application. And the really cool part about this is we put in the analytics and you could see people like turning the kiosks back on. It went from like 100 users to like 400. It was wild. So this brings me to what I call the final push. So this, I would say, is like the hardest part of migration. Like, you saw that kiosk. It looks super close, but there's so many innate detail to that final kind of push, that final ending. And so we decided to go through and replace some of the static pages, the lowest risk pages, using our CDN to divert between our 2 origin servers, the old Salesforce Site Genesis server and the new Node server. Yeah. What I learned in this project a lot after doing my own infrastructure is having 1.5 million requests a day gives you a lot of anxiety, because any small thing can just break your server and crash it, and you have to redo it. So that also is what took us a lot of time, was just ironing out those bugs. But after a while, we got there, and I also want to say, like, I would definitely shout out using something like Sentry, a telemetry tool. That will help you get out of this. Those are very valuable tools for this. And then I am pleased to announce, after 3 years of my SpongeBob meme, countless hours, work, toiling away, we finally got there. I am pleased to announce the new AshleyFurniture.com. This app is completely written in StealthKit, Svelte 5, runes mode on. Now, I will demo the app, but I will preface that all our origin servers are in the United States, so it's a little slow here in Spain. Oh. All CSR, SSR driven, all the buzzwords you've heard in here. PDP, add to cart, content, it's all working and it's all out there today. So that brings me towards the end of this talk. The results, what did we get out of this? I didn't just convert to Svelte because I wanted to convert to Svelte, even though I did want to convert to Svelte. After we got this out, we saw a 25% increase in KPIs. Non-business people are probably wondering what that is. It's basically the key performance indicators, how we analyze as a business, how well our site is doing. Our customers just being able to type in mattress and go where they want. Crazy idea, it makes more sales. And also, the thing I'm most proud of is the accessibility problems were nearly fully eliminated. And I want to shout out our UX team at Ashley Furniture, especially Shivante. She was amazing. She really helped us out. She helped us make a component library that was accessible. It's one of the things I love most about my job is that we're not making something for one people, we're making something for everyone. And that was really cool. So why Svelte and StealthKit? Well, I really don't think I could have done this project any other way. The versatility of Svelte and StealthKit really helped us out. The fact that StealthKit doesn't judge you for using web components is awesome, is amazing. The adapter framework is awesome. And self-plug, I've written my own adapter now for Fastly, which is out there now, so you should check it out. I really love the fact that Svelte gives you these tools to kind of wiggle your way out of these problems, anyway how, so that you can get to that endpoint where it's all Svelte 5, it's all StealthKit, and you can get those increased metrics. So, there's the last 2.5 years of my life. It was a lot. I'm so proud of the work we got done. I'm so proud of my team. It was one of the hardest things I ever done. And this slide looks broken, but I kind of base this talk off the Hero of 1,000 Faces. If you guys aren't familiar, it's kind of like the basis for a lot of stories where your hero goes to this new world where they learn things and go back. And I was trying to think for the end of this talk, like, what did I learn out of this? What can I give you guys in a really small amount of time that shows that growth I went through as a person through it? And I think I'll end this talk with a quick story. I'm leaving Ashley Furniture. I'm going somewhere else. And I'm going to another problem. It's weird that Ashley Furniture, it's all working now, and I'm like bored. And last week, my 2 developers, Muhammad and Juri, awesome guys, shouts out to them. They were like, hey, Bert, can we get some more documentation, more help with some of this stuff, some of these concepts? And I said, of course, guys, but you need to know when I came here, I had nothing. I had no documentation, no unit tests, nothing. I had to start from scratch. And I was like, I don't say that to brag. Just can you guys do me a favor and don't let that happen to someone again? Don't let the next guy after you start with nothing. Make it a little better than you found it. Leave it a little better than you found it, please. And really now when I view the world and I develop now, that's how I'm looking at it. If we all just kind of got together and left the code base, the world a little bit better than we found it, it would all work at the end. It'd all be great. So I don't know if that's a good lesson. I wish I could sum it up in the short amount of time we have, but thank you so much. I love this community. I love Svelte.
Thank you, Bert.